24 hours ago, the British Prime Minister told the people of the United Kingdom, do not visit your family members. How do you live in quarantine? How do you manage self-isolation? There's this issue of international solidarity that we've just been speaking about with our guest in Malawi. Let's go to New York and speak to Dr. Robert Reiner, who is Executive Director of Behavioral Associates, an organization that specializes in cognitive behavioral therapy. Dr. Reiner, thank you for your time. Do you think that we're going to get to a moment where we will lose all international solidarity, that people will be all out for themselves because of what's happening with the coronavirus? We've seen it already with panic buying in some countries. The United Kingdom seems to have run out of toilet roll. You can't buy pasta in any supermarket.
Yeah, well, it could. People can be irrational in situations like these. You know, there are certain things that our DNA is wired to overreact to. Certainly fear of drowning or fear of contamination is one of them. So who knows what's going to happen? This can activate human tendency to be irrational.
So you can't be anything but rational when you're in self-isolation. You have nothing to keep you busy apart from your own mind. You might be lucky enough to be isolated with your family, but you've got a unit there with whom you have to spend every single minute of every single day for 24 hours for 2 weeks. How do you get over that kind of... I said to my family the other day, one of the things we're going to have to be careful of is not getting angry with each other, and if we do, to let it go as quickly as possible. We're not quite in self-isolation yet, but we might be soon.
You're making a very good point. And, you know, a concern that people have had over the past few years is the internet was designed to get people closer together, bring people together, and we know it's done the opposite. People, at least in New York, are more isolated than they usually are. Well, this has certainly increased that. You know, the tendency to isolate and how to entertain yourself. But what I've also noticed is people are, they're more likely to cross their threshold with anxiety. I had a patient who called me late last week who, when she was 8 years old, her father, in trying to teach her how to swim, threw her into a pool. She went right to the bottom. She was saved, but she had a lifelong fear of drowning after that. When she was 45 years old, she developed serious bronchitis, and she was hospitalized, and it also activated panic attacks. The fear of drowning was still very much part of who she was. As the bronchitis subsided, so did the panic attacks. Yet, with the coronavirus now all around us, her panic attacks have reemerged, and she's in really tough shape. And I think a lot of people are having that problem. If you're kind of close to the edge, insofar as your threshold for anxiety goes, this has pushed many people over the top. We're getting a lot more calls in a New York office, people having panic attacks. Now, how that's going to transfer into behavior, who knows? But it's a tough time. It's challenging. The advice you gave before about being with your family, being more patient, I agree with that 100%. That's great advice. But these are challenging times. No doubt about it.
Doctor, thank you very much indeed for that backing. Really appreciate it. And thanks for sharing your thoughts with us on TRT World. Dr. Robert Reiner speaking to us from New York.